Hello, everybody. Hello, friends. Welcome to another Thursday edition of Merging Minds, our leadership forum here at Bureau Works. Today, I'm extremely excited to welcome one of the coolest leaders I met in this industry, a guy that is doing it all, a guy that is really advanced in the AI field, a guy that I know I've been here for almost 9 years, since day one, I would say. uh, he's Italian. He's based out of Genoa. He's the owner and founder of Creative Works. Here's my good friend Diego Cresceri. Buenas
Hi,
tardes,
Harvey.
amigo.
Hello. I'm more excited than you are.
You really?
I'm
Have you
wondering
been?
why is Harvey not interviewing me? And I was getting,
Ah!
come
This
on.
is me. It was the time. It was the time. It was the time. Have you been
Yeah,
following the big AI conference today? The what was
oh,
it called? The
I haven't. I
Oh,
haven't.
okay,
I'm
okay.
so curious, but yeah, I was kind of mentally preparing for this and many other challenges
Nice.
company today to address. So no, I haven't.
No, no worries. Like, I have followed a little bit, but not most of it. Like I thought this conversation had to happen, Diego, because uh, there's really there's really I was gonna say there's really not so many uh, leaders out there who have in our industry who have really embraced the the new AI wave. There's really so many people that are against it, scared still a little bit, and you are one of those that is always talking about it, that is always preaching for that, for the good use of machine. And I had to come. You had to come and talk here. Bureau Works. Just a quick note, and you probably know, we are a translation tool that is based on AI, that has a component of AI, right?
Yeah.
And our like the center of the user experience is the translator. Here, we're not here to scare anybody. We're not here to get anybody's job. We're here to to help everybody understand that this is happening. That this is you have to embrace it and do it. So I had to talk to you, my friend, because you're doing this.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Well, yeah, the
Yeah.
center is the translator and the linguist. Let me
Yes,
spoiler this.
indeed.
It's the linguist, not the
Yes,
translator.
indeed.
And it will always be. Uh, and we've seen that in the past as well. 7 years ago with machine translation. And that's where we are, and that's what we should embrace. That's my opinion.
I I know you very well, but for our audience who are watching here, because I'm seeing friends connected on LinkedIn already, on YouTube, and on our Twitter channel, can you quickly introduce yourself and give me in 30 seconds a story of your life, in a minute, a story of your life, how you come to be Diego Pesceri today?
So I fell in love with English when I was 14, and I told my parents, "Look, either I go to language school or I go to do something else. I go to work. I don't know." But that's what I wanted to do because that was the only school where you could go abroad. And I fell in love with languages. Now my kids are doing English in primary school. I was not so lucky. I fell in love with languages. Always wanted to be a translator. Never been a translator in my life, but it was with a good education that I got. And I love languages. I wanted to be on my own and build a company to keep everybody happy, which I'm struggling to sometimes, but that's what I aim to, I guess. So here I am in the industry
You are a
since 18 years, for
since how,
18 years
18
now.
years. And for those who are watching, you are a founder in our industry, but you're also a founder and investor outside of the industry. Correct me if I'm wrong. You've
Oh, yeah.
got projects outside of the industry too, and that's
Well, I
interesting.
founded a startup in a very close industry, I would say, data for AI. That happened 2 years ago. But now I merged the startup into my own company only because I couldn't manage the having two companies altogether. I had I made some small investments in other companies, other industry. I wouldn't call myself an investor. I love to look around, and I am 43, so started to think how I can diversify. But still my main focus is it's languages, and this is where I will stay forever, I guess.
I love it. And the other reason what I wanted you to have here is because and I did it last week with Mladen. You know Mladen as well, right?
Yeah, of
And I
course.
want, yeah, who doesn't know Mladen here in Europe at least? And I want to preach and I want to help people also open their eyes to entrepreneurship as well in our industry here, right? There's because this has been the main conversation for this year. Lots of layoffs, lots of things happening. People are waiting for the next job, and people do not consider the entrepreneurial way. So
Yeah.
last week I interviewed you. Today I interviewed Laden. Today it's you. In 2 weeks it's gonna be Isabel from Translated. So
Mm-hmm.
well,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, good I
Well,
come
given the
before Isabella, not after. Wow.
she's got a very
Thank you
beautiful
for that.
story, my friend. No worries, no worries. And well, like the topic of today conversation is it's something that's going to impact every and each of us out there, especially those that lead teams in our industry. And we're going to talk today about precisely the impact of this wave of AI in leading and in the ways of leading, right? Diego here is my guest to talk about this today. And I prepared a few questions today that I reviewed with ChatGPT, of course, as you can imagine. I mean, come on, what are we going to be doing here if not, right? And I created it had a lot of there's a lot of thinking behind these things because I want to spark some thoughts, some ideas, and you are the perfect person for this. So just let me start from a general perspective,
Yeah.
Diego. First thing I need to ask you, in your experience and in this little short amount of time, how has the AI wave impacted the localization industry? Have you seen many challenges and opportunities coming up for leaders like you so far?
Well, I'm going to tell you my story, not the story of the industry. I'm not. I am a company owner, so I can tell you my experience. I didn't know that, but volume started to decrease in November last year, and when I realized it, it was February when ChatGPT was published, and so the first consequence has been, volumes going down, and I guess that's because customers were thinking, let's wait and see what happens with ChatGPT, and maybe we'll get into there and not doing translation anymore. And this is when I got scared because it was March and at a company meeting. I told my team, "Look, this is happening. Either we embrace it or we are kind of fucked. You can beat that later." And so first thing is, I was scared in March when I talked to my team, and I scared them as well, maybe too much. But then I told them, look, let's embrace it, let's do something. And we started slowly doing things. And then now I can really see a huge amount of opportunities. I saw a post by Konstantin Drank lately, where he said, look, the writing industry is 100 times more than translation. And this is where we should also add it. We should broaden our opportunities and broaden our services and do more stuff. AI is a great tool. There are many things that can be done inside our companies and towards our customers. And I see really a lot of opportunities. And I see the same old story going on. Like people started to post, bad results about AI, what AI is failing in doing. We should talk more in what AI is successing in doing.
So why are leaders around still scared and still not embracing? What is your thought on this? Why, like, is it like a lot of being in your comfort zone? Is it a lot of like, let's let it pass? Am I going to lose business? What is your thought on this?
Well, I mean, losing business is something forgiven. I mean, you will lose business. It's not something you should be scared about. You should be certain about you're losing business if you do something like that.
Ah,
So that it's not that. I think it's more getting out of your comfort zone. It's more about being tired because it's just 7 years ago that we had this big,
yeah.
empty new team wave that maybe it's difficult, to change again. I spent a lot of time in educating and training my freelancers about doing post editing rather than translation. And then we were again having to do that again. And it's tiring. It's tiring. I
If
mean,
it is.
Yeah,
It
it's
is the
not
role of the
change.
leader, I guess, right? It's
Yeah,
the role
well,
of
yeah,
the leader
and
to.
it is tiring. Believe me, can you see that? Right?
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
you I mean you're doing good because you've been there for 18 years, as you said at least, and
in
as
the industry, in my
in the
company,
industry.
it's 7 years.
7 years. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't know that. But you've been leading teams for a long time, right? You
long
have
time.
leadership experience, of course. And I have another question, and it's like, how do you see that role of the leader evolving with the integration of all of these AI technologies? And here's another thing that I want to add, because the other day I was reading an article and it just sparked my something inside, and it was saying like, uh, leaders who embrace AI are going to go further than leaders who do not embrace it. It has like a fine rhyme that I just forgot about now. But this led me to ask you this question: how do you see this role evolving?
Well, I think as a leader, you need to be up to date with what is happening, and you need to be brave, and you need to have a vision. And I'm not sure it's changing the role of the leaders, but for sure, I feel on my shoulders the responsibility of understanding what is going on. As with every change, and even with no change, I mean, I need to be up to date, and I need to be very careful because I feel the responsibility of leading my team and my people to the next stage of life, even of our industry, of economy, of whatever. So it's really not changing. I don't feel that. The only thing that is changing is in this very moment, I also think, and this is what I didn't do very well in March when I did that meeting, I need to give them the tools and to give them the knowledge, them be my team, to understand what's going on because I don't want them to be scared. I don't need that even. I do
Yeah.
need them to know what we're talking about and to really get to understand the opportunity. It's not just that I should tell them, look, it's an opportunity, and it demonstrate that it's an opportunity, and to give them
Yes,
the
indeed.
tools, the knowledge, and the instructions
Yes,
to
indeed.
to embrace it.
Let me get more granular then, because one of the things that I've been asking the friends that have come out to this leadership forum is, and one of the goals that I have is I always want to have, if possible, real life examples. Give me an example on how this thing hit you and how you sort it out. So let me ask you now regarding this. Share some specific instance where AI has played a role in that in the success or transformation of any project you ran in the company from March, since you embraced this change and you've been doing it.
Yeah, sure. The first experiment I did was in our internal marketing,
Yeah,
and that's where we started. Of course, content creation, content curation,
yeah,
social media. We do a lot of that. And
yeah.
so that's where it started first, and that's for internal use. But we're not there still.
Okay,
Because we're working on something else. Customer facing, we turned a content creation project into an AI content creation project for one of our customers. And the result that I got is saving 65%, adding 65% of margin on that very specific project. And this is what we're trying to replicate. So that's the success story on small volumes. We need to scale. We need to do more workflow integrations and stuff, but it's huge. It's huge.
yeah. By the way, friends listening and following, please, if you have questions or if you feel identified with anything with the things that we've spoken here, which we hope, leave your examples here. We will read them, and I will ask Diego if he's willing to answer and if he can answer, of course. Okay, thanks for sharing that example, Diego. And I'm sure that when I interview you in a year, you're gonna come and say like, Javi, all of this has happened. This has completely exploded, and then this is positively exploded, and I have 25,000 more examples to share here,
I think
right?
it's
Yeah. And the other day, I remember when we spoke with Mlad, and we were talking about rejection to the as leaders and as leaders as industry location industry people, rejection to the AI wave, right? And we were talking about this being attitude, this being skills, or this being I'm a little bit in my comfort zone, I don't give a fuck about this, let's go to the next thing, right? So
Yeah.
let me ask you, what leadership qualities do you believe are crucial for navigating the complexity of AI driven of this AI driven business landscape in the localization industry? What is the big role of those skills or attitude or that a leader should consider? You tell me.
Well, I think you should have a vision. Again, it's not about saving money. It's not about surviving. It's about having a vision, a constructive one, someone you can build on. It's not just a reaction. We should be proactive. So proactivity would be one. Transparency would be another one. You should talk with people and explain what we are talking about. And you should study a lot as well, focus on details, and so it's all soft skills. I mean, uh, hard skills can be learned. Soft skills, you need to train them a lot.
I love
I
it when
think
a
there's more to
leader
do.
mentions the soft skills. I love it. I love it. I love it because to me that's human and that's
Oh
considering
yeah,
that person
absolutely.
over there, right? Yeah, yeah. But although you don't believe it, there's a lot of people that are being led by old-fashioned ways. And another of the goals that I have in this community is to open to the world ways of living like the ones you're doing and that
Change
put people in
management.
front. Yes, indeed.
I forgot change management. That's
Okay.
the most important one, I think.
Okay.
And I'm
Okay.
not
Okay.
very good at it, probably.
Oh,
I'm the
okay.
best.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you because it's also the next question I thought of. It's very related to the philosophy of what we do here at Bureau Works and what your colleague came and talked about last week in in the other leadership in the other forum we have called Translators on Air. In your view, and when balancing the adoption of AI, how can we or how can you as a leader ensure that the human element remains central in decision making processes and the process
Yeah,
in general?
so I'm convinced the role of the linguist will be central and it will stay central forever. We need linguists to use the AI. It's not, I mean, I'm talking about generative AI and GPT and ChatGPT, whatever. So it is central. We shouldn't oversell AI to our customers. We should take the human in the loop approach that we've been talking about forever, but we should really do it. I mean, we should train our people again to make this change, this new one, over and over again. After empty, we should train them to be AI post editor, to be prompt engineering, and I would. This is why when you said translators, I said linguists instead, because we need linguists. We need people that know the language, and we cannot do without them. I mean, if you take a video and you want to dub it with AI, you still need someone to check the transcription and someone to check the translation, and then someone to check that the audio is relevant and it's good and it understandable. So we need people with language expertise, and but we need to accompany them or to be with them and train them and take them to their stage, because this is something you don't get out there so often. So, and this is what we want to do.
You were
And it's
last
the
week, and
beginning
here's a
of
little
our, yes,
yeah.
sir.
Last week you were in a conference with the European Union in Brussels,
Yeah,
right? Correct. And our common friend, the great Julia Tarditi,
yeah.
she made a
Ciao, Julia,
post
if you're there.
yesterday.
She's not.
Ciao, Julia. We love her. This is one of the people that you meet and you say, like, you're gonna be my friend for the rest of my life, right? She's so cool. I love that girl. She made a post yesterday referring to the event that you guys attended, right? And
Yeah,
on the comments, she was telling me, like, hey, can you help me promote these things? Because it's related to the thing you're talking now, putting this linguist, putting the people in the center, right? She told me that there was a lot of frightened out there from there. How are you as a leader also helping? And can you tell us, based on your experience from last conference, or like,
yeah. So it was an event where I got to listen and I got to take part in meetings as well with the European Commission in the Lean group. I got to be in that group because my earlier colleague Klaus couldn't join, so I'm kind of switching. And we are talking about the attractiveness of the industry. and they were talking about the human role. So we've been working and we'll keep working on attracting people to our industry and not or undersell it. Not. But again, we need to change the narrative. We need to be talking about language expertise, not about translation anymore. And the question that I got at the panel that I took part in was, uh, what would be your suggestion or your tip to someone that wants to join the industry or wants to study languages? And my answer was, well, I wouldn't suggest my kids, they are 11 and 9, to join the translation industry, but I would suggest them to join the language industry. Translation is something that in our minds is replaceable by and will become a commodity. True, shouldn't scare us too much because we can offer so many things, and this is what we're working on in the industry and with the commission. And all talks were about this: the role of the human and the role of the linguist. And it was really a nice conference actually, and so happy to join that group. And we are also selecting with the link group the universities of the EMT framework, which is a commission-driven initiative,
Mm-hmm.
and we will need to validate them against the opportunities and the skills that they develop in the students, and that's so amazing. I mean, you really feel that you are part of it.
Okay, that's cool, and that's cool. I think I believe just I believe in I agree with you totally in this you're saying. I need to ask you as well, what did you find in particular in that event from the linguist, from the language, because I love the post you did with the what was it like
Yeah.
linguist? Yeah,
Yeah, this
that
science
was
gap.
that was cool. And can you share with us some of the you know uh, resistance and skepticism forms that you found there, if you did
Well, if I
any?
think about the students or the freelancers, for them, it's not that they're skeptical. They really don't know what we're talking about. I mean, they're scared, but because they don't know the opportunities and they have no clue of what could be about them, and they don't know how they can uh, use their language skills in our industry. So it's not that they're skeptical; they don't even know what we're talking about. They're more scared out of ignorance in a good way. And this is a pity because this new generation of linguists are very smart, very cool, and they really need them. So it's really a matter of communicating more with them, academia, industry, getting all together, and and explain them that they have a role and they have and in our beautiful industry, very beautiful one. And and I feel that we need to play a role in that. We, meaning LSPs, we need to explain them and we need to share success stories and we need to share different roles that people could have. Well, Julia, you mentioned Julia. She has a very cool role in her company right now. Nothing to do with translation. Of course, she knows translation. She knows the linguistic part of it, but it's not translation. And she's one of the smartest people that I know in our industry. So there are a lot of cool positions that you can cover, cool jobs you can get, and good money you can make as well.
Yeah. You said that the translators, we shouldn't call them translators anymore. Should we call them linguists, language experts? I love that. How should we call LSPs then?
LSPs, wow, I never thought about that. Well, I mean, LSPs doesn't include translation in the acronym, so maybe we should keep it like that. For sure, we don't need to, we shouldn't, and this on this one, I do agree with Renato in one of these latest article. We should really be able and go sit at the leadership tables in companies and be part of the game, right? Not just be an afterthought.
Being
So
partners, yeah, being
yeah,
partners, being partners.
not a provider, really a partner, really a consultant. So maybe it could be LSCs, but C is meaning consultant, not company.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't know. I never
yeah.
thought about it. This was not in your list of questions, by the way.
I need to get out of this.
I
That's
know,
why I
I know,
told
I
you,
know.
like,
Absolutely.
I'm evil. I'm evil, my friend. I'm evil. I wanted to now.
I haven't prepared
And
in any case.
ah, it's like going back to the things that I thought we could talk today, and this is because these things come out from the from the experience that you lived at this conference last week. I haven't been to a conference in a month, and I'm here at home, and I'm like, you know how much I travel. I'm going crazy
Yeah.
already. So I was so jealous about that the other day. But like, let me go now a little bit to your clients, to the client,
Yeah.
to your clients' perspective, right? And I would like to ask you if you could share with us here today any insights into how AI has influenced your customer expectations in the industry, right? And how are leaders like you, what are leaders like you doing to meet their evolving demands?
So nobody, no single customer came to me and told me, look, I'm gonna look at AI and replace you. This didn't happen, luckily. But I did more proactive thing. I went to them and told them, look, I know because you are very smart and you focus and you are listening to what's happening. So I'm sure you are trying to do stuff with AI, but let's do it together. And I think it was a very smart move with many good results on our side. So expectations are very high, or used to be very high in summer and spring, probably not anymore right now. They're really they're really starting to see what's going on really. But one suggestion would be go talk with them because for sure they've been looking around and they've been even maybe shopping around. So don't be surprised if they then let you go. But now it's the moment where you should go and talk with them and tell them, hey, you'll be probably already experimenting with this, and let's do it together. And this will bring you surprising results.
You have a very empathetic approach. I love it. Like, I wish all leaders could come and talk to the guys like, hey,
Well, come on, big companies are already looking into that. They're not hiding or closing their eyes. It's everybody knows about it, and it's very much on everybody's mouth.
yeah. But I tell you, not everyone has the same empathetic approach as you, my friend. There's another thing that your Marta, your colleague, came and spoke about with Iveta, my colleague, last week. And it was a lot about the ethical part of the use of AI and
Mhm.
what you guys are doing there in your company, right? So, from your perspective, let me ask you, what ethical considerations should leaders like yourself and others keep in mind when implementing AI solutions for their companies?
Well, there would be so many. Someone yesterday or the day before commented under one of my posts on AI that we should also take into account like the environment, how polluting AI could be. This is something that's very serious, of course, but what I'm focusing on is on the people because I think that this is what I should be focusing on. We cannot solve all the problems of the world, and so I'm focusing on the people. And my ethical approach involves again training the people and make sure they stay relevant. And I'm doing this on a commission level and on an association level with the RIA. We're trying to do that as well, and with my company. So I believe we should be ethical in that we make sure that the people in our industry, well, starting from my team, of course, they stay relevant and they have a job tomorrow, let's say. And I think this is already a big burden that I feel on my shoulder, a big responsibility. So this is why we don't have the headspace to think about the environment or the electric
Yeah.
consumption. I mean, that would be too much.
Yeah.
One problem at a time. Otherwise, I get crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought of asking you as well.
There's an ethical
Uh,
part, of course, towards the
yeah,
customers because we need to be transparent
yeah,
with what we are doing, right? We need to
yeah, yeah,
tell
yeah,
them that
yeah,
we're
yeah,
using
yeah.
AI. Otherwise,
Should we
being
do?
unethical would mean hiding what we're doing in reality.
Should
This I don't
should we
like.
write like you remember this the Will Smith movie in which they have to write down the laws of the robotics? Should we write those ethical laws down as well and publish them for all the localization industry and for
Oh,
practices?
I saw someone here in the audience because I saw a comment, and even explaining to them what kind of expectations the customers they should have, or what is to be suggested, what they shouldn't do. That's also ethical, right? being
Yeah, yeah,
transparent
yes, indeed.
and talking with them.
Yes, indeed. So everyone watching, be transparent and ethical.
I know
And
someone is being like that. Ciao, Ricard.
oh, ciao, Ricard. See you in a month, my friend. We're meeting in Spain
Yeah.
at the end of in December. Looking forward to seeing him. I thought as well also to ask you, Diego, like even using the AI, what are you guys doing to maintain a personalized human touch in your services? I think that's a very good question that I need to
Yeah, I
ask to
mean
one of the leaders
that's
here.
we involve the human linguists in the workflows. So we never worked on a project where the human was not engaged. So what we do is we work on the project before the prompting, the analysis, and so on. We do the post editing, creation, whatever, and then we do the human evaluation. So the human touch is there because it's on the whole workflow. So it's there for 100% of the time. And this is how we manage to keep it, to sell it, and to keep a promise of the human, the human part. And that's very important. So let's be open here. There are not many use cases where AI can do everything by itself. We need the humans, and we do provide the humans and the human approach.
Yes, yes, yes. And then putting you mentioned putting people in the center, putting the linguist in the
Oh,
center,
absolutely.
putting everyone in the center. But I want to ask you for another practical kind of advice. Are you taking steps, or which steps do you take to ensure that your team is equipped with those necessary skills? Because we spoke a lot about human skills, but at the end, you also need some hard skills to learn, right? So, what are
Yeah.
the necessary? How can you tell us examples of what you're doing to get them trained, to get them, so they can work alongside AI technologies effectively?
I've been talking more about that I've been working in my company to do something. What I did recently is I turned one of my linguists into an AI, it's called AI language specialist, and he'll be trained, and he has dedicated time to be trained on this stuff. What I failed to do, and I do want to do very soon, hopefully, is well, we have a newsletter, an innovation newsletter. We have many different tools that we use to make them aware of what's happening. But I never found the time lately to focus and have a workshop for them. And many companies are offering that outside of our industry. I do want to take the time to train them and to have a workshop, to sit around a table, to brainstorm. So I think this is something I failed on a little bit. Uh, because they have the tools, they have the subscriptions to whatever tool they want, but I never took the time to actually train them and give them the practical tools and tips to work with these technologies. So this is something I need to improve on, I think.
I really love that you come here and speak about your mistakes as leader. Thank you
Oh
for doing
yeah.
that. Not everybody would do that. Not everybody would do that, man. And we've also touched upon the topic of showing vulnerability versus the. I mean, we're more or less the same generation, you and me, and how we've been brought up in the leader knows every fucking thing. You cannot discuss the leader. So I'm so happy that you came here and you said these things, Diego. Thank you so much, my friend.
Well, you're welcome.
It's beautiful that there's leaders out there like you that open and say, hey, I am trying to do things, I am not getting everything done, I make my mistakes, but I keep trying. And
I
rock
am.
and roll to you,
But I know
Diego.
what I should do, but just need to find the time to do that. I
Yeah,
like talking with people. There
yeah,
are moments where you should focus on your team. Mostly now conference time is over, so I will do that before Christmas.
yeah. All right, all right, we'll talk, we'll get back to you in January, February, and I'll be assertive on that. I'll say, have we done anything for Marta, the team, and all that, guys? And Ricard is going to be, I know you partnered a lot with Ricard, apúntate esta, eh?
Oh, Ricardo.
I
Oh, we
want to
keep doing
ask
stuff.
you as oh, I wanted to ask you as well about communicating the value of AI initiatives, and this is all related as well because once again, And I cannot stop stressing this enough about losing fear for the use of new technologies. So, how do you communicate the value of AI initiatives internally and externally? Because I'm sure that you can come up to your teams, tell them, "Hey, we're going to do this. You told me that you're learning to do this in a much better way." But how do you tell these to stakeholders, clients who are a bit reluctant as well? Because we might find those as well. What are you doing in this regard?
Oh, they
Or what
are,
would you
well, some of them are reluctant, so they don't want to even hear talking about AI. Some of them are hyper excited, and AI is the solution to all problems. I think the best approach is to go to them and show some data or show some examples and convince them to do a pilot. If it's free, it's better because they that way they don't lose anything. Um, and the same with the internal team. When I managed to show them here that what we are doing with AI was going to have a good result, that's where they got convinced. And this is the same with all technologies, all tools. It could even be the cut tools. I could try and sell a new cut tool, and this is your job, to them, but they will not be convinced until they see what they can get out of it. And they really feel the personal advantage and the personal benefit of using this new technology,
Yeah,
cut tool, whatever, could be anything.
yeah. That's we're doing that a lot. We're doing that a lot. We're doing that a lot with making sure that those that are being on board feel comfortable, and then we will talk about
Yeah, I mean,
closing all that
change
stuff, right?
is an effort, right? But if
Yes.
change is clearly towards something better, then it's best, I guess.
Yeah. 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 I agree totally with you. Are there any? Uh, I know our CEO Gabriel is a really lover of AI, of technology. He's aware of all the things that go. You talk to him, it's like, hey, I read about this, I read about that. Right? He's staying always in the loop of new things. Are you guys doing it? Are you staying in the loop of things, or this is one of the things that you want to improve for the next year as well, or in the loop of new things coming up, or how do you get informed about the new things that are coming up?
Well,
Regarding,
in different ways. Most of all, it's LinkedIn because LinkedIn is a connector of different things, right? So I follow the right people, I guess. I learn new things from some what we call influencers, but mostly knowledgeable people in the industry. And then I have a lot of private conversations as well with people. I really know that I have a lot to learn. I read a lot. I talk with people. I'm not afraid to ask for help, and this is usually very helpful. But most of the knowledge that I gather comes from my LinkedIn feed, honestly. Stefan, which you met, I think, he posted how to use GPTs, how to create your own GPT. And I didn't take the time to do that until I saw his post, and it was a very clear list of instructions. And then I did it. So really, my LinkedIn feed is a very good source of knowledge to me, and of course, all the connected stuff that I can get there. But yeah, I
nice.
spend 2 or 3 hours of my day getting to read or learn new things.
Okay, okay, that's good. And in your opinion, what are the most exciting possibilities that AI brings to the future of the localization industry?
Well, there's not a single one. I think it's many, and we don't really know what will be next. It can be content creation, maybe, and that's where we can, go and sit at the leadership tables that I mentioned, and many different things. I think it's a good opportunity to be involved in many more corporate activities than we are now. And
Hmm.
I don't want us to be in a couple of years complaining about, language being afterthought because we should act now and again, this is something to improve as well. But we should now go to our customers and ask them to be part of the decision making and to be part of their journey with these technologies. And
Yes,
that's a
yes.
really huge opportunity.
Yeah, yeah,
No
yeah.
excuse.
I'm going to. I have no more questions for you, but I want to ask you for some final advice, some takeaway, because I want to ask a couple of the questions that are
Yep.
here in the audience. But before I do this, can you give? Oh, yeah. No, let's first ask the questions, then I'll ask you to
Yeah.
wrap up with some advice. Okay, that's
Yeah, sure.
better. Jesus, what was it? I haven't had
Okay.
lunch, and my brain is going all over the place. So I want to go to the question that Cecilia Calignano is bringing here. She's asking, going back to the content creation project that we mentioned before, that you mentioned before, how did you convince the customers to stay with you and not to turn into a technology provider, only such as a TMS, CMS provider that offers AI integrated functionality? This is a good question. This is a good question. How did you do that?
Yeah, I mean, we have the knowledge. We've been receiving briefs from them forever, and we know what they want. And because we have this knowledge, we can have the AI work better than anybody else would be able to do. I mean, that's all about knowing the customer. It's just using a different process to get there, but the knowledge of the customer and their tone of voice and their preference and the feedback that we got during the years, we just put this into practice on another service, another way of getting there. But the knowledge of the customer is very important, and not all customers are willing to lose that because they turn somewhere else.
You hands-on, and you had another empathetic meeting in which you convinced them. I like that as well, right? There's another question that comes from Greta, and she's asking for tools. Could you mention some tools that language specialists should learn to use? And that's interesting. Language specialists, you should learn to use BureauWorks as well. That's the first tool you should learn to
Absolutely.
use, okay? And then which one?
Well, there are many tools, many features that are integrated in CAT-tools, for instance. And well, ChatGPT is part of it, right? It's not the whole thing. There are different tools that can be used. I would start from there in order to understand how it works. But then there are other tools. And now ChatGPT, well, ChatGPT Plus have access to internet. But let's not focus only on the translation part. This is what I told my team. We can save time and be better in doing many other things than with the language part as well. And we can do better in research, terminology, uh, getting suggestions, doing your own marketing. But yeah, but I would start from really understanding how ChatGPT works and taking a short course on prompting, and that's good because it's not that you need to learn so many different things. It's just one, but multi-purpose. I mean, you can do many things
Yeah.
with just one.
So Greta, two tools. Learn proper use of ChatGPT, because she's making a specification there. She's asking as a university teacher to encourage students to learn these tools. For example, so ChatGPT, PureWorks, and if you guys want to get in touch with my friend Viveta, who is helping other universities to learn how to use PureWorks as well, happy to
Yep.
do this as well. So
Well, again, I think that having a look at the second question by Greta, what we're trying to do with our team is with our linguists, to teach them how to deal with AI, for instance, with AI generated content, because it's not the same challenges, and you don't see the same issues that machine translation is having, for instance. So it's a really different approach. The focus should be different. So to your linguist, Greta, I would teach how to have to deal with AI, like hallucinations, fact checking, and this is very important. So it's a different focus.
interesting. I have no more questions, man. I have no more questions. I mean, I wanted to take a little bit of your time. Is Italy playing today? Because Spain is playing in 15 minutes, and we gotta go wrap up and watch the game,
I'm
man.
not so much into soccer. Maybe
No?
they might. No, I think they played yesterday.
Oh no, I think it's really okay. I didn't see that then. Okay,
Well,
okay.
I saw a post by my friend. They were offering audio descriptions at the stadium during the match.
Okay.
So I
All
don't
right.
know. I have no idea. Sorry for that. I know you are into
No
soccer.
worries. I am, I know that when I went to visit Genoa 2 years ago, I got the Genoa t-shirt and the Sampdoria, so
Yeah,
I couldn't choose.
and we haven't met. That's a shame.
Yes, you were not there.
Yeah,
Well, I have to thank you for your time for being here. You are going to surely be back next year, and I want you, and I would love you to share more news, more stories that are going on with you because this is growing up. This is growing. All the influence of AI is just started. So if you want, we'd love to invite you to come here. In the next episodes, we will interview Minette Norman, who is one of the favorite leaders of the industry for sure. She's going to be talking about her last book, about her experience as a leader. And then I am super excited about interviewing Isa, the founder,
yeah.
of Translated. She's amazing. I haven't seen her in a year and a half. I met her in Rome last time. We were out for dinner. She's lovely. She's one of the most inspiring people out there. She and
Absolutely.
Marco, absolutely. So
Oh
she's
yeah.
gonna come here before the end of the year, and I want her. I invited her to come and talk about her journey as a leader because once
She's
again
very
I'm trying
inspiring.
to. Yes,
Absolutely.
indeed. Yes, indeed. She's very focused on the well-being of the people in that work there as well. So those are. I'll keep you posted with more guests that we're gonna have. And just thanking you all. Have a good
Thank you,
afternoon. Have a
Javi.
good morning if you're in America. Have a good night if you're in Asia. And bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
everybody.
Thanks.
Ciao.
Ciao.